Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie, for those who don't know me, reviewing Married at First Sight Australia, Season 12, Episode 10. Before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. I also haven't been advertising this, but I do have a podcast on a separate channel. Right now we're covering Love Island All-Stars, but I will be tapping into Love is Blind as well. There'll be coverage on this channel too, but there will be a little more free-flowing, you know? Anyways, if you want to support me, please go and subscribe to that channel and watch those videos. Thank you very much. On to Married at First Sight. So, Morena, after the ceremony, has a bone to pick, but this time, it's not with Tony.
I didn't like last night being called Senora. That's something you call someone who's 90.
Paul called Morena Senora. In my eyes, that's not a bad thing. I think that's a nice, cute thing.
She's got a bun in her hair. She's got a couple of warts and hair on her chin. I would have much preferred good night, Signorina.
That's the problem there, you know. Something bothers her, she just goes on.
But you don't know me. Don't call me Senora.
Oh, man, I'm tired.
So apparently, based on the comments, I'm not quite sure how true this is, but y'all know I listen to y'all, so y'all better be telling me things that are true, okay? Apparently, Morena found out at the wedding that Tony was still married. And now this would actually make sense to me because number one, she be wilding out over the smallest things, and I'm just like, girl, what the hell? But number two, I recall this man saying he was married twice. And I was confused why the show is only emphasizing his first marriage. I was like, I swear he's been married again. So if he's currently married, it's probably because that second wife they didn't want to address is still in the picture. I don't know. But yeah, if that's true, it kind of makes sense why Morena is acting the way that she's acting. However, she's kind of insufferable in general. Every time I see her, whether she's talking to Tony or other people, she has a problem with everything and everyone. And I just can't. And here's my thing about reality TV. Because a lot of people will say like, oh, the way that the show decided to depict me was so unlike me. It's so uncharacteristic and stuff. I feel like the show obviously hones in on certain aspects of your personality, but they had to have been given something to work with in the first place. That is my personal opinion when it comes to television shows. So yeah, maybe it was an over-exaggeration sometimes, but oftentimes people don't really beat the allegations of how they were portrayed on certain shows. Like you see them go on other shows and you're just like, yeah, same person. Different production team entirely. Same person. You don't see the cast members being like, no, the show did them dirty. They're not like that at all. Oftentimes, same person. So yeah, if Morena was really told to just be quiet about the whole Tony thing, I can see why there is clearly a disconnect between the two of them for most of the interactions that we've seen so far. But it seems like what we have seen is kind of how Morena carries on regardless. As Intimacy Week begins, Jake decides, you know what? Clearly I'm going to be crucified on this damn show, so I'm just going to leave the experiment entirely.
I think at the commitment ceremony, he decided he was leaving. You said you won't leave because you don't trust me.
I lost a bit of the trust in you, Ash, if I'm completely honest, and that really hurt. You know, I learned a lot about Ash last night on that couch.
That whole situation, like no one made you say anything that you didn't want to say.
Right now. I came into the experiment saying I'm going to be selfish with what I want, and I am sticking to that.
Blaming the trust issue now is a bit of a cop-out. He doesn't want to face the repercussions of his actions. It's not like I ran off with another groom. So you know what? Thanks for that. I'm actually not going to feel guilty anymore because I'm glad I did. I'm glad I spoke to my friend.
Really good, then.
The couples are dropping like flies this season. Oh my gosh. Can I be mad? No, because I'm the same person who's always like, well, if you don't want to be here, go home. And they're really going home. So, well, I can't be mad. I do think that it's a bit of a cop-out that he's leaving at the first sign of trouble. However, playing devil's advocate again, even though the devil does not need an advocate, if I'm seeing the trajectory of my story and it's clearly not a good one, It's clear that I'm going to be portrayed as like someone who is malicious or somebody who's ignorant or somebody who's borderline racist. Like if I'm seeing that that's how the show is going to try to manipulate me to look, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. So I understand why he's like, I have an actual career outside of this that I'm not trying to jeopardize over my 15 minutes of fame, because can y'all remember who was on the last season? Or the season before that? Or the season before that? There's not much longevity after being on Married at First Sight. So you don't want to tarnish your real life for a reality TV show. You know what I'm saying? I still am of the belief that like he could have handled the situation differently for sure. But like I said in yesterday's episode, if Ash herself knew that he didn't mean it in the way that she kind of framed things to be, then why frame it that way at all? Why bring it up at all? Why be so like explicit with the details if you knew it was going to make him look worse than even you perceived it initially? Like that's the thing that confuses me. And someone in the comments was saying, well, it was going to be aired on the show anyway, so her saying it doesn't matter. For the sake of relationship preservation, I do think that it does matter. If you're trying to keep things between us and make sure that the sanctity of our relationship is intact, then there's no need in airing out business that you know isn't going to be received well. Like that's the part of Ash that kind of confused me. But either way, do I think it's a cop-out? Do I think I also would have left too? Yeah. Because Jake has left the experiment, obviously Ash has to leave as well. But the rest of the girls have a intimacy workshop with Alessandra, and they all kind of talk about like needing verbal validation in order to feel empowered in the bedroom or just in relationships in general.
When I'm having sex with someone, it's less about what they look like and it's more about how I feel. You can get better sex from us by really telling us how amazing us.
I want to be told how amazing I am, and men don't understand.
You respond well to being worshipped and adored.
I wouldn't say worshipped, I would just say adored. They think I'm the most beautiful girl in the world, and like, I love your hair, you've got a like beautiful ass.
It is also on us to give that feedback back so that they can feel like peacocky and like fabulous.
I like that Alessandra talked about that verbal validation being a mutual exchange. It's not just you receiving and not reciprocating. And it seems like that's kind of Jackie's standpoint. She wants to receive all this adoration. Even Alessandra used the word worship. And she's like, I don't think it's worship. I think if you were worshipped, you would eat it up, girl. But it is a mutual exchange, and Jackie doesn't do that. And also, that verbal affirmation isn't just for the bedroom. So she wants to be seen as the most beautiful girl in the world. She wants to have all these like flattering things said about her and stuff. But does she even speak in a affirming way to Ryan outside of the bedroom? No. So then why would you all of a sudden expect it to be there in the bedroom? Like, you don't speak life into him. You don't make him feel seen and understood. Like, everything is my way or the highway. And it's like, you have to be a doting husband to me, but she's not doing anything in return. And then she's shocked when she doesn't get something that she's not even exhibiting in the first place. If you want to be cared for, maybe show some care. If you want to be spoken kindly to, maybe speak kindly to others. Like, Jackie, girl, come on. In this conversation, some of the other girls are talking about where they're at in their relationship. Sierra feels like she's kind of stuck in the friend zone with Billy. And I can't say that I'm surprised, because a few things, I didn't really harp on it much, but they did stick out to me, right? When they were doing the confessions week, Billy made it a point to say, oh, she's insecure and sometimes it's like a front, and I'm okay with that. I'll just choose to manage it, right? I think that bothers him. Maybe not to the point where he has to like say it, but I think it's slowly chipping at him like, okay, I have to walk on eggshells around this girl. Maybe I can't be as just like authentic as I normally would be. And then at the honeymoon, I also noted this, but I didn't make it a big deal because I hadn't seen enough evidence. After they did have sex, he said that he had regrets about doing it so early. And I was wondering, did he want to build an emotional connection first, or was it like a spur of the moment, maybe a drunken endeavor kind of thing where it's like, I don't even know if I wanted to go there with you. Like, we're not quite sure why he had regrets back then, but so far in the process, they're kind of stuck in the friend zone, and he explains where he's at when it comes to the whole physical connection thing. So we'll get into that a little bit later. After that, some of the girls went to adult stores. Obviously can't show that, but I mean, the show blurred out what was happening in the background, but they're really trying to spice things up. And I kind of like that they went to the store themselves, because when Alessandra sends the box, sometimes I feel like the box is overwhelming because there's things in there that you would never touch. Like, if I saw plugs in my intimacy box, I'm returning to sender. Girl, take it back. Take it back. Take it back. So the fact that they actually get to pick what they want, it was nice. Morena obviously has not been having the best time with Tony. She has said that he pays her little to no mind. She'll even try to show some physical affection by putting her hand on, like, and he'll just recoil and stuff. So after the workshop, she's really trying to lay it on thick with him. And at first I was wondering, what did she do? Because Tony came in and his face was red. But I said, okay, Morena, I was not aware of your game.
Hello.
Morena. Doing some housework.
Very sexy.
Whoa.
Are you hot?
You came in and
Far out. You're
it's very-
sweating. I have organised something. I will surprise you with what that is.
Yeah, the conditioning, you got to turn it up a little bit. This is...
How are you?
Jesus Christ. Hello.
Tony.
You look amazing. Let me give you at least a hug. How cool is that? How cool is that? Today I just snapped out of it. I was like, Tony, man, wake up. You know, have some fun. Your smile is the Morena I meet today and that's going on.
I'm glad that Morena is really trying. I'm glad that Tony's being receptive as well. I think at the beginning of their exercise, it could have gone left because he was like, okay, I like what I see. You're beautiful. Like, I got this. And she was like, no, but I just want you to paint me the way that you see me. He's like, okay, got it. Yeah, so if you could just paint. Girl, he got it. Like, thankfully, she wasn't steamrolling this whole exercise. And I know that it was supposed to be about her, but intimacy is still a mutual experience. Like, come on, girl. So luckily, they did have a good time. He drew her in a way that depicted how things have gone for them so far. In the beginning, she was sad, considering her past and also how he treated her. And now he gets to see her in a new light. She's smiling. They're actually connecting on a deeper level. So it was a nice experience. Do I see them lasting past the experiment? No. Especially if he really is still married. I think at this point, they're just here for banter, but it was nice to see anyways. Rhea decides to take a different approach from most of the girls. They went the sexy lingerie sex game route. She decided to just have like a romantic date where she recreated a few of her firsts with Jeff.
Kind of wanted to make a fun memory of redoing our wedding dance together. And when we dated, we went to lots of Asian fusion restaurants.
This is unreal.
Yes.
You've done well.
Thank you.
Her ultimate fantasy night is basically the same as mine, and I guess that's why we're so compatible and we get along so well. If I was describing my perfect night, this would be basically it. You've absolutely nailed it. Shall we dance? Oh, that's...
It's almost like he's like, I've got you. I love that about him.
I like how things are going with these two. I think their biggest hurdle was the whole friend zone thing, and since they've jumped over it, I don't see why they wouldn't have great potential in their relationship. They already have that foundation of being good friends even after the relationship dissolved, so I don't see why things can't work out. I think they're going to be the front runners of the season. Like, what could possibly spring with these two? I can't think of anything. And if anything comes, I think it would be forced because it looks good. Like, friendship, establish. Romance, establish. What else do you need? Sierra is not having that great of a time with Billy during the intimacy challenge because he is not taking it as seriously as she is. She feels like she's now stuck in the friend zone with him. And so when she tries to break out of that, he just makes a joke of the situation.
I'm very attracted to him, and I hope he's very attracted to me as well. He says he is, but... Be serious, Billy.
Well,
There's 2 rules. I want to see some skin.
mate.
Yeah, I was surprised. Yeah, I was surprised.
Can you get on your knees and do that a little bit nicely?
On my knees?
Yeah. Slapping it around.
Well, what am I supposed to do with it?
Give me a massage.
I'm attracted to Sierra, but I don't just want it just to be about sex. I want it to be about everything.
Yeah, do you kind of feel like Billy was rushing through it quite a bit? It seemed a little bit more enthusiastic.
God.
Initially, I was like, damn, if you don't like the girl, just say that. Like, why was he doing all of this? It's definitely giving, I don't want to be here right now, but, you know, I'm here so I don't get fined. I was unimpressed with Billy. He later on explains that she is quite full on. So if they are going from friend zone to her being this full on, I can understand why he's like, okay, jarring. Like, this is a lot. I'm overstimulated right now. But in general, like, he could have found a way to engage in it, or even just, okay, if he felt uncomfortable engaging in this exercise, he could have sat her down and been like, okay, well, I don't know how he would have sat her down because she was fully breasted out. But anyways, they said they could have cut the cameras and then just said, hey, this is where I stand right now with our relationship. I do feel like we need to cultivate a deeper connection before we really delve into like the physical stuff, especially because I don't want my relationship to just be focused on sex. I think if she knew that, then maybe she would understand why he's taking it slow. But the question would be, are you taking it slow simply because you want to build a stronger connection emotionally, or because it's just not there for you sexually? Because I was just like, you're not turned on by this? Like, a beautiful girl who's very into you is breasted out, back out, ready with oil for you to lather her up, and you made a joke out of it. You must not like her for real. You must not. I don't know. That was confusing for me. You guys let me know how you felt about that. So Jackie actually included Ryan in her lingerie shopping experience, and when it was time for her to try on some of the pieces, he was struggling to give her like a proper compliment.
Yeah. You like the red?
That's hot, eh?
Oh, shit.
What do you think? What about me?
Yeah, oh, you look great. Snack. Snack.
Not a snack. So you can find things to compliment me on. So you can say, you've got very nice hair.
Yeah, I love your long hair.
Today's challenge is for you to make me feel like the most beautiful girl in the group. If your wife doesn't look good for the day, you don't tell her she doesn't look good.
I'm someone who's very organic. I need to feel like it's happening naturally. I don't force anything. I don't need compliments in order to feel happy.
Happy wife, happy life.
I hate that saying.
I am offended that you don't make me feel beautiful. Just be like, hey, I made a mistake, you're fucking gorgeous.
Because that would be a lie.
Not gonna lie, I was ready to criticize Jackie, but I'm not mad at her completely. Now, I will say, to ask somebody to compliment you in a specific way can come across disingenuous. You know, when it's like, oh, I want flowers, but I don't want to tell you that I want flowers because then you're just gonna get me the flowers. And it doesn't feel the same. Like, I want you to just think of like, oh, I should get flowers for my girl to show her that I appreciate her. Not, I'm going to get flowers because I've been told to just go get the flowers. It's not that hard, guys. So, like, yeah, I was quick to think like, it's kind of disingenuous if you want it that way. But at the very least, she's expressing a need. She told him, this is what I require in a relationship. Can you please do this for me? And he's point blank saying no. And the issue that they're having is that she just wants him to give her a little white lie just to make her feel good. And he's like, well, I can't lie to you. I'm not going to do that. I can't tell you you're the prettiest girl in the world because you're not. I can't tell you you're the prettiest girl in the room because you're not. And her response is like, but I know. It's not about truth. It's about making me feel good. And so I have a question to you guys. Do you think the little white lies in a relationship are okay? I think they're okay. As long as there's the understanding that, like, realistically speaking, we know this is not true, but because I love you and I want to make you feel appreciated, I want to make you feel good, I'm going to put you in the best light possible. And yes, baby, you are the best looking person in any room. Even if David Beckham, Idris Elba, and Aaron Pierre were in the room. You the finest man in this room, sir. The finest man. Like, there's just certain things that you have to do. Like, what benefit is there to tell your partner, I mean, you compared to all these other girls. That's not gonna unlock the cooch. I'll tell you that for free. So, yeah, I'm okay with a little white lie, especially when especially when both parties know, like, you're doing it to make me feel good, but I still appreciate it because you're making me feel good. Yeah, Ryan and this girl, what's her name again? Jackie. Lost cause. The funny thing is, I actually think they would have had potential if they weren't so headstrong and stubborn, but because they are both my way or the highway people, I think it's game over. Actually, I think that Ryan would be more accommodating if Jackie was less stubborn. Jackie started off on such a wrong foot with him that I think he is just doing everything in retaliation. I think he would have been a lot more receptive if she would have started with being more open and more like willing to listen and understand. But she came in hot and heavy, and he's going to try to match that energy because he's a warrior. He's what else was he? Not philanthropist, philosopher, and a poet. Okay. Not very poetic for you, Ryan. And it seems like things are going to get worse in the next episode. He's saying some kind of crazy thing that has everybody on edge. So I'm intrigued to see what that's about. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one.